did a workshop earlier this spring, and after the workshop, a couple guys hung around and we were talking, and we got off a deer and started talking about coyotes. And they were telling me about how they hunt them with night vision scopes and stuff. And man, it sounded like a blast. I've always wanted to do that. So one thing led to another, and they offered to take me out. So we went out the other night hunting coyotes, and it was pitch black. And to me, it was a real surprise and at the way they were doing things. I was used to, when I went coyote hunting, I'd wait for a moonlit night, a little snow on the ground so I could see a ways, and I'd hunker myself into some bushes and try to get them when they'd circle downwind of me and really stay hidden. And these guys hunt in pitch black darkness. They just watch that they don't get silhouetted on a hill. Apparently the coyotes can see you against the sky, but they can't see you just standing out in the field. And it was amazing to me that you could stand out in an open field and those coyotes would come running up to you. With the night vision optics, you could see them coming forever. It was amazing. I was scanning the fields, and you could see coons in the trees for hundreds of yards. You could see deer bedded all around you that you'd never even know were there if you didn't have optics for looking at them. It was amazing. These deer were way more accepting of you at night than they were during the daylight. I couldn't believe it when I put the scope up and there's deer right next to us bedded down.
Alright, so here's your on and off switch. Basically you have to, there's a button on the battery pack here. So you gotta press the button and turn the battery pack on, and that'll send juice to the scope. Up on the scope you have on, off, and standby. So you turn that to on, and then basically you have to compress the eye shutter to open the lens cap. Basically, you gotta push that forward to open it.
Okay, so when your eye pushes it forward?
Yep, then you can see the screen. So you'll have to get kind of used to that, but you push that forward, and then the large knob here is to adjust your full range of motion, left and right, up and down, all that stuff. Tighten it to lock it into place there. Let's see here. If you want to look at something further out, this is your focus knob, or your focus ring adjustment. So if you're looking at something that's say 50 yards out and it's crystal clear, now you look at something at 400 yards out, you're going to have to adjust it. Basically it's just clearing up the scope so you can see further out, because it's all digital. So
okay.
Other than that, that's really about it. This is a laser rangefinder, so at night when you can't see anything, if you see a tree line out in front of you, you can turn that on to kind of show or tell you how far it is. And I mean, if a coyote's standing still too, you can turn that on and find out exactly how far he is.
I would imagine that thing shoots pretty straight though.
Yeah, we just shot today and it was right on at 100 yards and right on at 200 yards, so yeah, shoots pretty good. It's a 243. So yeah, last night it worked well, and hopefully tonight we can get some more.
Pretty cool looking piece of machinery.
Yeah, it is. It's something else, that's for sure.
So you've been killing some?
Yeah, last night we killed two. I don't know if there was a triple that came out, but we had one come in right away. We shot that one at the call. It was probably 10 yards from the call. And then we turned on a pup distress, and all of a sudden another one came out of the woods. How many shots you guys took at it, but he got back into the woods, he left the field, went into the woods, and then yeah, the distress call was still running, and another one came back out. I don't know if it's the same one or a different one, but he came back out to check on his buddy, and yeah, he fell about 5 yards from the call, so
cool.
Yeah, that was a good time. They were active last night, early on especially. Later on it kind of petered out, but yeah, it was fun. And then a couple nights ago they got a double as well, so
cool.
Yeah, hopefully tonight we can get some more.
All right. These guys are really good coyote hunters, and you can learn a thing or two from them. Nolan's a registered guide, and if any of you guys want to go hunting with him, look him up on Facebook. It's really an experience. So the first place we went was Dave's farm, because I thought for sure we'd kill coyotes there, because that place is loaded with coyotes usually. We got in there, we scanned. They got a scope for scanning. Now, two guys get on rifles. They got tripods, and they scan with their rifles, but they can only see so much with the limited scopes, because the scope's got a tight view of vision. And then one guy, the third guy, will scan with a scope and look around where he's got a bigger view of vision, and he'll watch for incoming. And then what they would do is they'd pick an object in distance, and they'd call it 12 o'clock. If the coyote's over here, it's 2 o'clock. If it's over there, maybe it's 8 o'clock, or 9 o'clock, or 10 o'clock. And you'd use that for a basis, and then the scoper would say, coyote's coming, 9 o'clock. It was a pretty cool experience. Now at Dave's, we didn't call in any coyotes. We didn't even get an answer. But you go in, you get set up, you make your calls, nothing happens, you move on to the next farm. And what was surprising, is with just a few phone calls and just a few knocking on doors, Nolan got permission all over the place. It was really easy for him, because everybody wants coyotes dead. Just coming in for one night to hunt coyotes, nobody seemed to really care much. The second farm we went to, we went in and we got into this cornfield. And you got to remember, we're going into these places blind. He just got permission on them. And we set up, and we call, and he goes through a series of distressed animal calls. And then when none of that works, he put a howling coyote on, and then he got an answer, real close. So then we shimmied up a little bit, called some more, and then Corey says, I see one coming. And I got the scope up, I couldn't see nothing, Nolan didn't see nothing. And then looking at the footage, I couldn't really see it, and then he says, look real close. See the little fireball running underneath? That's a coyote. Then I saw it. But it never came out. They were smart coyotes. They'd probably been hunted before. So then we went to a third farm. We went over this hill, and just as we're going over there, coyotes start lightening up without us calling, just over the hill from us. So that was pretty exciting. We knew they were there. And it was a good thing, because we probably would have went too far, because they were up by the road, and right behind the farmhouse, in the fields. So we get set up in the field, right out in the open, and start scanning before we call. And Nolan says, Dan, look, see the coyote? Up on the point. And I'm like, where? He goes, I don't know, must have been 600 yards, maybe more. Way up on this point, there's this little black dot. He goes, that's a coyote. So looking through his rifle scope, you could just make out the shape of a coyote sitting on the hillside. So then he lights up the call, and a minute or two goes by, and then the coyotes start running in.
I don't see him. I see him, okay. I'm on him. He's running. Gotta be wounded.
What was amazing too was after they shot the coyote, they both opened up on him and killed him. I was running scope on that hunt. They both opened up and killed that coyote. They don't go in and pick it up, they just keep calling. And I'm thinking, well, what the heck? None of those coyotes are going to come back. But sure enough, they all come running back. And they said that's quite common, that those coyotes will come back after you shoot one, if you're patient.
Which one you on, right or left?
Well, cool, we got one, huh?
Yes, heck yeah.
Hold that thing out. See it. That's a pretty good one.
Male. Good size male, actually. What do you think about that, Dan?
Ah, pretty cool. You know what's funny is this isn't very far from where you shot him, and when you were shooting,
Yeah.
I saw another one keep going, and I thought that was this one.
I did too. Yeah.
He's got one through the head, don't he?
Yeah, he's got. Yeah. He's got something going on up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I saw that too. The second one hit the field. I took a shot and that turned him to go up the field there, but.
We should look around to the by the road here too a little bit. Just.
Yeah.
I can't believe that thing didn't go down.
I know. That's pretty crazy. I definitely think I shot over his head on this one.
Okay.
Not doing so good.
You don't look too healthy. I think the beast virus got him.
The coyote beast. Yeah. The coyote beast is with the deer beast. The hunting beast.
Ooh, he stinks a little, eh? It's like he crapped himself.
Yeah, he did. He's all rubbed up.
Yeah, looks like he's fighting or something too. He's got a scar on his nose. Well, cool. Those scopes are pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got mine from Thermal Optics Plus. That's a FLIR PTS 736. The rifle was made by Sean Casey with DNA Firearm Systems. He does a great job on those as well. That's for sure.
So I think what I found most interesting is when I hunted these things, I tried hiding really well.
Okay.
And you guys just stand out in the open field.
Yep.
You just make sure you're not silhouetted.
Absolutely right. Yeah. When I first put the call out, I noticed that I could see you guys, and we came up with the idea of moving down the hill so that wouldn't happen. And these coyotes were 60 yards away, so it's pretty awesome. It helps too that they were yipping and hauling when we got here.
Yeah.
But,
Looks like both you guys shot it, eh?
yeah. There's definitely
He's got a
one
couple
around
holes
through
in
the
him, ain't he?
shoulder and
One on his head and one on his shoulder, and you put a little hair on him and back on him, and he'd be pretty big.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Nope. Now he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But
Well, cool stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Glad you were able to come along and experience it.
Yeah.
What would you say, 35?
Pounds?
Yeah.
About 12 pounds.
Well,
No,
if you wouldn't be so
pretty heavy.
strong.
It smells like 110 pounds.
110 degrees.
That's some heavy stuff.
Stinks.
Why did you drag that inside there and show your wife?
Honey, I got you a pet.
God. Reeks.
Dan had lost his mind.
stinky dead dog. Cool.